what I like is your approach on getting in their face quick. From the day you got in there, I'm not sure people can hear you. From the day you got in there, you got in their face. That's the mistake I feel that we make, is we don't get in their face in September when we're voting in November.
Right.
Start now, and every time they open their mouth, you're in their face. So you can say, here's your 2-year history of what you've done.
Right.
And
exactly
you people out there have been listening to us for 2 years. It's out of the Democratic playbook. That's what they do. If I keep punching you, you're going to keep stepping back, and it's going to be hard for you to swing at me. So keep punching at them, and they have to keep defending themselves, and while they're defending themselves, people are going, gee, what's going on?
Right.
It's kind of what I call the gray ceiling theory. You look at the ceiling, you say it's white. If I say it's gray to you enough times, sooner or later, you're going to believe it, that it's gray. And the Democrats are good at that, and I kind of think you're on the right track here, what you're doing.
I'm trying to keep them on their heels.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll tell you a really quick story that I hope you'll appreciate. Last summer, I don't know if you guys get WGIR up here or not, the main station out of Manchester, but every Wednesday morning they have a political roundtable, and they have folks from both sides of the aisle come on, and the host of the show, tries to moderate some sort of a debate. And I've done it several times, and one day last summer it was me and Kathy Sullivan. I don't know if you're familiar with
Oh, yes.
But it was as we were waiting for the decision from the Supreme Court on the health care law, on Obamacare. And we had a very animated back and forth, Kathy Sullivan and I, on the air about where that decision might land. And I repeatedly made the point that, in my opinion, the Democratic leadership was missing some important constitutional points, and that they didn't seem to care about that. So we went to commercial, and Kathy Sullivan got very upset with me and started to yell at me in the studio. Jennifer Horn, don't you say that Democrats don't care about the Constitution. I won't have it. I'm sick and tired of Republicans saying we don't care about the Constitution. And it went on for the entire commercial break. She was very angry with me. And just before we went back on the air, the last words out of her mouth were, don't you say that Democrats don't care about the Constitution. So the little light goes back on, we're back on the air, the host starts, and he's, I think it was to change the subject, brought up another issue, I can't remember what he said, but he turned to me, he said, Jennifer Horn, former congressional candidate, what do you think? And I turned and I looked at Kathy Sullivan, I said, well, Paul, I think the problem is that the Democrats just don't care about the Constitution. So I'm a big believer in staying on message. And that's what you're talking about. We have a message. Our message is right. Our message is good. When we stay on our message, our neighbors across the state can relate to what we're talking about. They're able to identify with it, and we are able to win their trust. And that's what, and then inspire them to vote Republican. And that's what this is all about. So, are there any more?
One more question?
Yes, sir.
I like the message. I like your leadership. Now, my next concern is, how do we make sure the message really gets out? And I think you ought to try, someone ought to try, I don't know, wish I knew enough to do it, but to put together a marketing plan, an advertising plan. Sure. Then instead of getting $2,000 people getting $10, maybe you get 10,000 or 20,000 people giving $10 in order to have a market. So when the Senate kills the gas tax, that should be on every radio station in the state. Maybe even a couple of TV saying the Democrats tried to raise is your gas not expensive enough?
Right. But Democrats apparently believe gas is not expensive enough
yet. They think it's too cheap. And they said it over and over because they told us that it should be $5 or $8 a gallon.
So that's absolutely part of the plan. As we talk about getting the message out, we talk about rebuilding technology, all of this is part of the big picture plan. And it all requires funds, it all requires financial, support in some way. One of the things we want to do, and I haven't quite figured out the perfect timing, I think we will wait until we've transitioned to the a new web presence, whatever change we decide to make. One of the things we're going to launch is what we call the, I am a Republican, the I am a Republican campaign. As I said to you tonight, I am a Republican because I am a mom. I think it's time for us all to start telling our stories in really simple terms, in ways that people, who in the real world can relate to, and start getting that message out there. And I've heard the stories on the campaign trail hundreds of times. I'm a Republican because I'm a small business owner and I want to grow my business and hire new people, and this crushing policy prevents me from doing so. I'm a Republican because I'm a dad who works 2 jobs because I want my children to have a college opportunity that I didn't have. These are the real life stories of people who are Republicans and who are fighting the same fight we are, and we need to start sharing those stories. So I absolutely agree, it's about it. And we're growing that effort. I can't change everything and I can't do everything that we talked about overnight. We're growing it, we're building it. We're getting out there, we're getting it going. You know, when I ran this campaign, I made a couple of promises. I promised that I would be out and involved and listening to you every chance I get, and I'm doing that. I promised that we would make upgrading our technology a top priority, and I'm doing that. And I promised that I would do everything I could to raise the funds necessary to do the tasks necessary to get Republicans. I'm here tonight to ask you to join me in that effort. I need you to do it with me. I need you to get the message out with me. I need you to raise money with me. I need you to be part of that action, part of that team. I cannot do it alone. You cannot do it alone. We all need to be in this together. We need to recognize that we are part of a greater cause, that we are truly working for the common good here as a political entity, and we all need to be in that together. I think there was one more question, and then, yep.
I want to clarify the cigarette tax, like everything you said tonight.
Can everybody hear?
I'm in the convenience store business, okay. My name is Dave DeVoy.
Turn the,
Hi, my name is Dave DeVoy. I'm from Samberton, and I own a couple of convenience stores, actually 3. I sell a lot of cigarettes, and the working poor are paying a lot. And I just want to clarify that the Republicans are going to oppose the cigarette tax,
Right.
just like they did the gasoline tax. It's important because the government has enough money already. You don't need any more.
And it has a direct impact on the kind of business that you run. And I live down in Nashua on the border, and every time that we talk about raising the gas tax, that we talk about raising the cost of gas and cigarettes and other items like that, there's, you know, right across the whole border of our state, all of our convenience store and grocery store operators are up in arms. It has a direct impact on their business. So. I want to say again, Alan, thank you very much for the invitation to be here tonight. It is my pleasure. Anything that we can do at the state committee level to help you, if it is humanly possible, we are going to do it. It's very easy to get any of us, Jennifer at nhdop.org, Jacob at nhdop.org. It's, you know, if you know our names, you can track us down, you know, give us a call. It is extremely important that we strengthen and grow the effort at the county and town level. So I can't give you $10,000. You know, I can't. There are a lot of things I cannot do. But if there is something I can do, you have my full commitment tonight that I will do it. That's what this is about. I ask you again to take that moment tonight and remind yourself of why you make these sacrifices, why you're a Republican, why you come out to these meetings on a regular basis, and just please make that commitment with me to be fully dedicated to continuing to fight this fight. It is the Republican Party that is fighting to preserve opportunity and freedom for future generations, and I can think of no greater cause. I am honored to be part of that. I feel privileged to be in the position that I'm in, and I am profoundly grateful for everything that every person in this room does to advance that fight. Thank you very much.
Jennifer, I'd like to thank you very much for coming out here. I know it's a long way from home because you're down in Nashua. Before we adjourn, Sam Cataldo has one other thing that he'd like to say. Oh, and we do have the 50-50 raffle. Let's do Sam first.
All right, thank you, everyone. I just want to repeat one thing. On Saturday, April 13th, that's on a Saturday, on the Oath Rally. Remember what we've been having at the State House? The Second Amendment? It's been up there right along. I know. It's been up there right along. This night's going to be on a Saturday, not a Friday. And it's from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. There'll be a whole bunch of speakers there. Please join us up there. And we're going to be handing out a lot of this stuff to the representatives up there. Honor your oath in the Second Amendment. Okay? Thank you.
Croc TV.